Hey gang, so today I thought we'd do a fun little tutorial on if you only have like a few supplies but you have a woman in your house. We are going to attack this space marine with our goodies. So I've got eyeshadow, I've got a makeup sponge, I've got some highlighter, I got a red lip gloss. I think one of the most interesting things was using the nail stamps. I've thought about doing this for a long time, and I have done it previously on similar minis, but before I painted Warhammer. I just hadn't seen it done on Warhammer before. Hang on till the end for the nail art stamps, because I think those are really useful. So with the makeup sponge, I'm just sort of using a contrast paint. I'm just kind of dabbing it everywhere. It kind of gives it a nice overall kind of thin layer. It's kind of hard to get it everywhere, but it does leave a nice kind of texture. Like the paint isn't super smooth on the mini, which is nice. The makeup sponges are also good. I didn't do it in this, but they're also good for doing weathering and like doing sort of dry brushing as well. And then when you want to clean it, you just dunk it in some water and give it some squishies, and then it's like you never got paint on it. She'll never know. And then I'm using the brush that came with the eyeshadow, and I'm just gonna cover it in shade. Because essentially what I'm thinking is, like, you've got a tournament tomorrow and you haven't painted at your army. You have some contrast, you have some shade, but you don't have a lot of other things. So you just want to kind of slapdash with what you can find in your mother's makeup bag or your girlfriend. But you do play Warhammer, so probably not. I kind of wanted to do a salamander looking guy, so I did go with the green, and then putting the shade over the top, it looked quite nice with the white that the sponge missed on the green. And then I'm just gonna do the gun kind of dark. Moving to the first makeup product, we are going to use the highlighter. This is essentially just really finely ground white sparkles, and I just want to kind of use it to make a sort of more metallic look on this spaceman. It's sort of very pearlescent. I thought it came out really nice. Again, same as if I was dry brushing, I am just going in one direction with the brush. You could probably do this instead of dry brushing on any mini, just get some powder, because makeup powder tends to be super finely ground, and it just sort of sticks. Now we've got a sort of metallic-y green boy. I'm just gonna do the end of the gun with the metallic as well. So this is how he's looking so far. It's pretty good, I think. Going pretty well. And then I'm gonna grab the eyeshadow for the base, and I'm just gonna kind of mess up the brown. I thought about like cracking it and like crushing it properly, but it seemed to do quite well with a very slightly damp brush. It just kind of caked up a bit. And then I'm just gonna sort of pack it onto the base to get that kind of dirt in there. And then in the same way that I dry brushed with the highlighter downwards, I'm just gonna get that dirt and pull it up the legs to just give it a little bit of a dusty brown look up there. So with the lip gloss, it's blood. Chuck it everywhere. You'll be fine. You might have to give it a couple of pumps to get it out of the tube, like especially if it's new. And then you just want to kind of splatter it everywhere. You do have to remember that lip gloss doesn't really dry. It's kind of like an oil paint, because most of them are like oily or greasy. So you don't want to touch it too much after you've done this. You could probably do this as the last step instead of the first step. Now for this last bit, this is the most intense bit. This is the longest bit of the video. I think this is the most interesting bit. So as a girly myself, I like painting nails, and I already had a lot of these nail stamps. And I've used them previously on just like messing around on some little things. But I just wanted to use them on these like shoulder pads and like knee pads and see how it looked on minis. So you get these things called plates. They're basically etched metal. It is difficult to find ones that are in Warhammer patterns. Like I was looking for a fleur-de-lis one for the last like couple of years for a Sister of Battle scene that I wanted to do, and I just can't find one anywhere that's small enough. And then you get these special nail polishes. You can get white, gold, black, silver, red, green, like lots of colors. And you kind of just slop it on to the plate, and then you use this like little credit card type plastic thing to just give it a gentle scrape. You're supposed to hold it at like a 45-degree angle, but like as long as it scrapes the paint off, you're probably fine. And you have to do this kind of fast, because otherwise it dries super fast. And then you just pick it up with your little silicone stamper, and you sort of roll it on. So this first one didn't go super well, but it's the idea's there. And then on the other shoulder, I wanted to do this sort of snake pattern. And again, this one didn't go super well either, just because I used the same plastic thing without wiping it, so it had like a lump on it, so I had this super big splodge in the center of my stamp. But the bits that did go on do look pretty good. I think this is like a very viable technique to do. The only issue I would say is that the varnish tends to be kind of glossy. So if you do want to keep with raiding the makeup bag, then you can get like setting powder, which is matte, and you could probably brush it on top, and it's just like a translucent powder, and just pat it on top. Or you could matte varnish like you would with glossy paint on minis. So just to cover up that black, I'm just sort of doing this white geometric pattern over the top, seeing how that goes. It is very messy because the shoulder pad on this mini is attached to the arm. I haven't really put maximum effort in isolating the shoulder pad, but it looks kind of cool. It looks very like fun. And then to cover the other shoulder pad, I'm not going to use the checkerboards again. I'm going to use this diamond pattern instead. And I'm just going to put this on top. Because it's nail varnish, you can literally clean it with just like some acetone or like nail polish remover. It's just nail polish, essentially. It's fancy nail polish. This probably won't work with like normal nail polish. This tends to be thicker and it has more pigment in it. Don't just use any old nail polish. This also won't work with acrylic paint, probably not with inks. It essentially works by when you scrape it, you're leaving like a really thin layer on the unetched metal and a thick wet layer in the other bit. And then when you're picking it up with the silicone stamp, it's then drying on the stamp, but it doesn't stick to the stamp, and then it just comes off on the mini. But yeah, I hope this helped. I hope you find these things kind of fun, and I hope you don't annoy too many women in your life by stealing their makeup when they're not looking. Leave a like, leave a subscribe. If you try this, tag me in anything, and let me know how it goes.